Greetings. This is Ralph E. Smith, reporter and publisher of GuardianChronicle.com. Welcome to Community, Youth, Government, Law Enforcement, and You. The topic for today is a broken legal system in America and New York State. But first, we start this important program with a letter from the president of the CCA, the Correction Captains Association, the president, Patrick Ferriola. His letter states, on Wednesday, September 28th, 2022, at 1100 hours, there will be a hearing at New York City Council concerning a proposed bill that will ban the Correction Department from operating a punitive segregation unit within our jails. There is no need for me to tell you this proposed bill is dangerous to the safety and security of everyone who is behind the gate: captains, correction officers, civilian staff, and inmates alike. You live it every single day you are at work. What I am asking you to do is to make your voice heard and tell these elected officials just how dangerous and reckless this bill is. We encourage all of you who are not at work, come to City Council hearing and make your voice heard. We need all the support we can get to try and convince the council members just how reckless this proposal is. We have said it before, and we'll say it again. Come do the job we do, even for one tour, and let's see what your opinion is. This hearing is open to the public. It will be held in the New York City Council chambers at City Hall. You can testify in person, on Zoom, or in writing. If you intend to testify in person or on Zoom, you must register. To do so, we use the link https:// all small letters, council.nyc.gov/testify/. You may also submit written testimony. If you like to submit your written testimony, please use this link, testimony@council.nyc.gov. Fraternally, Patrick Ferriola, president of the Correction Captains Association. Oh my God. The importance of consequences of your actions assaulting inmates or assaulting staff in jail is life and death. There are many repeat offenders that come to jail, and not everybody is a physical danger to other inmates or staff. And let me just say for the record, I am a 25-year veteran of the New York City Department of Corrections. Yes, let me put that disclaimer out there. I was a public relations officer and a security officer on Rikers Island. So I have firsthand knowledge of what I'm talking about. And this is a critical part of the broken justice system when you have people that don't know what they're talking about. Well, just let the repeat offender walk around the jail. I mean, we don't really care that he assaulted a correction officer. He assaulted a civilian. He assaulted somebody. Just let him go. Just put him back in what we call general population, or what I should say, what is called general population. The consequences of not having an operating punitive segregation unit in jail is very dangerous and can be seen in the streets of New York. It could be seen in this breaking news story that just happened a day ago. Authorities say a 33-year-old woman was approached by a man who tried to start a conversation and then followed her into the mezzanine, followed her into the subway. When the woman did not respond and ignored the advances, police say the man dragged her across the subway floor and slammed her head into the wall, where he repeatedly punched her with his fist and kicked her about the body and the face. One passerby tried to intervene but retreated onto the platform when the man advanced towards him. The attacker then kicked and punched this woman several more times before simply walking away from the scene. Follow me now. This happened yesterday. This happened 24 hours ago in New York, in Queens. The police responded and arrested the suspect. I want you to follow this story because we're going to connect the dots to this broken legal justice system. The victim, who appears to be a security guard, was transported to Jamaica Hospital, where she was treated for serious but non-threatening eye injury. According to Miss Elizabeth Gomes, she said, "Do you know how scared I am now? I was never a person to be scared. When I saw this story, me, reporter Ralph E. Smith, when I saw this story, tears came to my eyes. Seeing how this woman was brutally beaten up. But follow me now again. Follow me with this story because we're going to talk about what's the word I could use? We're going to talk about the punk that beat her up. She said, Miss Elizabeth Gomes said that her head throbs with pain and she can barely sleep since the attack a week ago. I can't see anything in my right eye, honestly, and it just hurts, Miss Gomes said. She said the suspect was murdering, talking about something incoherently about Satan in the moments before the attack. He's talking about the devil. He's talking about a whole bunch of nonsense, Miss Gomes said. Miss Gomes' husband is heartbroken and furious. Man, I watched the video and Mr. Holmes says, it tears at my heart. It tears out my heart, Clement Tucker said. Now let's talk about this, we're gonna just let this repeat offender, we're gonna let him go. And matter of fact, let's talk about the suspect. The suspect is a 41-year-old Waheed Foster, and he's now charged with assault. But let's get into the criminal record of Mr. 41-year-old Waheed Foster, the repeat offender. In 1995, Mr. Waheed Foster, 41 years old. Law enforcement sources say Foster was arrested for murdering his 82-year-old foster grandmother in a brutal beating at the age of 14. 6 years later, he was arrested for stabbing his 21-year-old sister with a screwdriver. Then in 2010, he was arrested for attacking 3 workers at the Creedmoor Psychiatric Center, where he was an inpatient. He was on parole until November 2024 at the time of last week's attack. This man, if you want to call him a man, I am very upset about this whole thing because this man should never have been on the streets of New York City. He should have been behind jail, in jail, behind bars for a long, long time. Not, well, you know, it's just like give him a slap on the wrist, let him out. The legal justice system is broken and it's dangerous. And it makes no type of sense to say, well, a person like this who commits numerous felonies, crimes, we're going to lock him up. And while he's in jail, if he assaults someone else, don't put him in punitive segregation. That's too harsh. Oh my God, that's too harsh. Don't do that. You're violating him some kind of way. You're not treating him like a human being. Well, let's talk about this. Let's break this down. This man is a danger to society. He has a record of hurting people. Why the heck was he let out? Why was he released by the injustice system, the broken system? And why are you now, I say you, the New York City Council and the U.S. government, why are you now saying to New York City correction staff that the staff cannot have punitive segregation for dangerous criminals inside jail? That makes no sense at all. And I hope that Ms. Gomes does not lose her eyesight. I pray that her husband can keep it together and not lose his control over his anger, because I just seeing her get beat up angered me, you know. Oh my God. It is, and now New York City Council is asking the correction department to simply allow dangerous, assaultive criminals to walk around in jail in general population after they attempted assault or assault staff. That makes no sense. That in and of itself is dangerous, ludicrous, and is an example of what happens when you have a guy like 41-year-old Waheed Foster, numerous criminal charges against him for assault. He murdered his 82-year-old foster grandmother, and we just put him back on the street. Oh, well, the street can't handle him, so we just maybe put a person like this back in jail. Oh, He assaulted a correction officer, a correction captain, a correction staff. Just put him back in GP. Just give him a slap on the hand. No. That is crazy. Doesn't make no sense. And this is an example of what can and what has been happening to civilians, to people in the street by repeat violent offenders. Now you asking the New York City Corrections Department to put violent, assaultive inmates in with general population. No. Let your voice be heard. Come out to the September 28th, 11 a.m. City Council meeting at City Hall and voice your opinion about this, because it's dangerous and we can't keep kicking this down the street like a can. We can't keep not dealing with the problem. This problem is bigger than just New York. It's bigger than just being solved by the mayor. It has to go all the way to the governor and beyond, And but first, we have to solve the problem of this punitive segregation unit and have them operate. Yes, I, Ralph E. Smith, reporter and publisher of GuardianChronicle.com, I am in favor of operating a punitive segregation unit within our jails, because what are the consequences of attacking somebody inside a jail? Well, City Council would say, just let the guy back out. Just let the inmate back in general population. Don't have punitive segregation. Don't put him in punitive segregation. That doesn't make no type of sense, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous to correction staff, and as you can see, unfortunately, by this latest news story, it is dangerous to the public. If you let a dangerous, assaultive inmate out of jail and give him a comeback to the streets of New York, if you give him that type of card, if you let him out and he continues to assault people, well, you know what? I don't think that person's learned their lesson. And I think that if you go by just the legal facts, you have to lock him up. Consequences of his time is lock him up for some years. You got to have consequences behind your time, behind your assaultive nature. I pray that Miss Gomez will not lose her eyesight. I pray for her husband that he will not lose his temper. I pray for New York City corrections staff that they will remain safe inside the jails by having punitive segregation within the jails as a consequence for dangerous inmates that assault staff. This is Ralph E. Smith, reporter and publisher of GuardianChronicle.com, urging all off-duty New York City correction staff and captains to attend the Wednesday, September 28, 2022, 11 a.m. sharp, City Council meeting at City Hall. Be there and let your voice be heard. Make a difference. Have a blessed, safe day. And thank you for tuning in to GuardianChronicle.com.